Maximum authenticity. What is maximum authenticity? What would that do? It would unleash what you really, really are ever so steadily and gradually, depending upon the ability and maneuverability and how you could be graceful with such, toroidal currents of different elemental factors, factions even, and notions that are playing within our lives. Excuse me, there's a frog in my throat canal. But one little mini point I wanted to make was the earth itself, it's its own conglomerate of its own ecosystem. There's a different word I want to use. An ecosystem conglomerate, living organism. Yeah, I guess that's the word. It's a big, it's somewhat of, earth is its own cellular organism, more or less, having different relationships with other, bodies of energy, and how those bodies of energy have solidified to be what they are. Because how did the planets become what they were? Different, layers of traversion within the prefusion of whatever it came out of. This is conscious history and evolution, and we being, micro parsecs of that by some miracle. Because the chances of us being alive and having this human body, it's actually pretty, like, it's depending on where you're ultimately coming from like from a soul vantage point, right? A spirit vantage point, whatever. That would dictate why you are what you are, and how you cultivate the best of the best within this small chance that you are in to actually fulfill your potential. That's just the reality of it. Is maximum authenticity is such an underrated kind of notion and, approach and attitude and mood that we don't necessarily know. So the mental new intellect is being immersed and intermerged within our emotional bodies and casually the environment around us. And based on the environment, the cards that we were dealt with, the environment in unique ways constricts us and decompresses us in so many different various ways. We're just not thinking of it like that. So the earth is, having all these cities, and within all these cities, still within the city, within the, the suburban areas and the rural areas and the city areas and the non-city areas alike, there are different things being deposited as earth, as its own living organism conglomerate. And as that's being done, our respectively little human self is barely coming to the awareness and the cognition of, you know, it's not necessarily an egoic thing, but it's just more of like an awareness thing. And there's a certain part of our character that it has a certain type of, social engineering manufacturing to the different, aspects of reality being, quote unquote manipulated. We're we're also being genetically and chemically engineered on the daily. So if we don't recognize that, we're going to be having like a losing battle without the proper awareness, intelligence, cooperation, and insight. And for that to be streamlined and preserved on different levels, that is like the foundation to grace and pleasure, just on a hyper scientific level. But the thing here is, like, there's receipts, there's timestamps, and there's transcripts of, like, we don't necessarily know something being on this earth is downloading from somewhere else, and it's such a balanced thing. You could interact with it within your own probability, and based on your resonance or thereof no resonance of it, that's the probability chance of you detecting and having your own instinct of what is good for you and what isn't good for you. Because there could be something phenomenal that has downloaded on this earth that could be, like, quote unquote the best of the best, end quote, and we have no idea of it. So if we don't have any idea of such integer or such subject or such living object, etc., loosely saying that, and those are like, those terms are, and meanings, and, energy glyphs of themselves are obviously interchangeable. If we don't necessarily know something that's already being downloaded that is a constructive benefit, and we're ignorant to that, then on a higher scientific neutral level, that's our loss. We're missing out on that. So I have receipts. Like 8 months ago, I was cruising in this similar area, and that regardless of the area, and I did a video, the best of organic everything. And on a higher neutral science level, that is that's the ultimate leverage for, you know, positive constructive transformation all across the board. So how we actually, you know, ground that is maximum authenticity to accomplish and actually have that slight probable reality. And we have to have a balanced approach to what I just said, because without the balanced approach, it's not going to be upheld. And what is the balanced approach? It's already been mentioned, by being aware of the different wars inside of you and how you could balance that. So that's the best approach. So I only got 12 seconds, but maximum authenticity for the best of organic everything. I have a lot of videos on private on my other YouTube, Meta Mindset. Thank you.